What's going on? Today we are talking about this bike behind me. This is the P1 from Infinite Machine, which is a new company out of Brooklyn, New York. I've had the privilege of riding this thing around Santa Monica for the past 2 months or so. And yeah, today we're gonna chat through some of the questions I've been asked and just my experience riding. So let's get to it. This is a fully electric e-motorcycle or scooter. The bike goes about 65 miles an hour, apparently. That's the top speed. I have not gotten it up to 65 miles an hour. I've probably only gotten it up to like the high 50s, so it's a fast bike. As far as the range, according to Infinite Machine, P1 has a range of 60 miles. I personally have not really tested that. I've just been taking it on my commute to work or little errands around town, so I've probably only ridden it about 5 to 10 miles without giving it a charge. The range that you get is going to be contingent on how you're riding it, the type of terrain you're riding it on. You know, standard rules still apply. It generally charges, my experience, like within 2 to 3 hours, I have the battery at 100%. The battery actually just plugs right into a standard outlet, which is super convenient, just any sort of standard US 3-prong. According to Infinite Machine, the battery should be charged within 4 hours. Here in California, if you are going over 28 miles an hour, technically you're supposed to have an M1 license. I have an M1 license, so yeah, I would say you should have a motorcycle license if you are going to be riding this machine. There's a setting that allows you to put a governor on it, but that's no fun. Who wants to be putting a governor on the speed? So yeah, you should have a motorcycle license. The weight is 330 pounds, so this is not a light bike by any means. You're not gonna be carting this up the stairs or throwing it in the back of a truck. For all intents and purposes, you know, this is a motorcycle. The price point on this bike is around $8,000. Now let's chat a little bit about the build and design, because I do think that that's one of the most standout things about this product. It's got a very futuristic kind of architectural type of design, lots of angles and lines. The exterior of the bike, it's got aluminum plates, so a lot of like industrial metal. It's got plastic components, a large touch screen. But yeah, overall, I would just say that the build is substantial. You know, the design of this product was made so that it would be durable and able to withstand conditions if you're parking it outside in the city. While I haven't been, you know, beating this thing up, and nor do I think it's the type of product that you would want to beat up, I do think that it could take some abuse, and I do think that like standard wear and tear of parking it outside in the city shouldn't be any issue. So yeah, overall build and design, really cool. And I think, you know, the overall look, it's unique. People immediately think, is it a Tesla? I don't think they look that much alike. There's obviously a little bit of resemblance, but yeah, it's just a super cool futuristic look. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but it's definitely unique and something that'll turn your head. It's really grown on me, and I think it's a pretty cool looking product. I would say that everything's just like relatively intuitive, and it's designed just to kind of look clean. The buttons and the layout of the controls, it's simple. There's not a ton of them. You know, there's a simple light button, there's blinkers for turning left and right. There's a horn, there's a boost button, which is pretty cool. That's kind of like your get out of jail feature. It allows you to accelerate much quicker if you need to. And then there's, you know, reverse drive and a couple of different modes for switching between eco, sport, and I think a couple other modes that we can toss on screen if needed. There's not a ton of storage on this product, so you know, you're kind of doing the backpack thing. If you were gonna use this as more of like something that you're trying to do errands, grocery runs on, you might want the option for some storage. Having said that, I've been able to put bags right here, kind of where the battery is housed, and that's totally fine. There's also storage right under the seat. That's where the battery charger is stored, and I think that's pretty useful to have on you, but you could hypothetically just take that out and store some things in there. So as you'd imagine, maybe looking at this product, there's a decent amount of tech built into it. Everything more or less runs off of the app or your smartphone. So you don't need a set of keys. You can turn it on, turn it off, lock it, add users, check the GPS location, set off a security alarm. The touchscreen, it's not CarPlay, but it's essentially CarPlay for all intents and purposes. So you can have your GPS up there, your map. Makes it really easy when you're riding around town. If you ride a motorcycle or you ride a bike, you know that, you know, sometimes directions can be an issue if you don't have a phone holder or something. Outside of, you know, everything more or less running off your phone, I would just say like the security feature on the bike is actually really cool and seems to be really effective. The founder of Infinite Machine says that he parks this thing right outside in Brooklyn, has no reservations about yeah, it being safe. So yeah, I would say just like from a tech standpoint, you know, there's a good amount built into it that just kind of makes it all seamless. Here, let's see if I can get the alarm to go off. There you go. Just a little touch and all of a sudden the horn goes off. So I don't know. This bike is just a lot of fun. It's zippy. So from like 0 to 30 miles an hour, you're beating most cars off the line. Obviously we're not drag racing here, but it's got power. That's kind of what I'm after. And I think that that's important if you're riding a bike in traffic. You want to be able to accelerate, you want to be able to ride with traffic and be able to maneuver. So this definitely has the power to do that. It's also got a boost button, which is kind of, you know, give some more juice and accelerate a little bit faster. I would say in terms of like the overall ride, you know, the suspension on it and the wheels, like they're relatively robust 12-inch wheels. The suspension, you know, it doesn't have like a ton of give. So if you're riding on a rough road, like you're gonna feel some bumps, but it's a smooth ride on pavement. Like you're not taking this off-road or anything like that. Like it's a smooth ride. The weight helps it feel like really balanced and controlled. It's really fun. And yeah, overall, I just think it's a really good time. It's zippy, it has great pickup. It feels substantial enough that you're not afraid to be next to other motorists. Everything is just like intuitive about the controls, you know, left, right, turn signal, the horn, the boost button, you know, everything is right there. So yeah, they don't overcomplicate it with too many controls, which I think is something that can happen with some of the tech. Braking power is another thing that I can just mention. Like they are hydraulic disc brakes, I believe. And yeah, to me, they have plenty of stopping power. I haven't had any issues, but again, like you're trying to ride, you know, safely. Ideally, you're not slamming on the brakes. You know, riding at night, I actually think that this bike is pretty great for that. The panel at the front is a giant light. It's, I believe it's 1200 lumens if you're using the low beams. I think it goes over 2000 lumens if you're using the high beams, but overall it's just really visible, which gives me a lot of comfort at night. I think that it's really easy for people to see you. It's also got the brake lights, it's got the turn signals. So I do think that this is a bike that you shouldn't have any real reservations about riding at night if you're comfortable riding at night. As far as like my final thoughts on the product, you know, as I said, I've had a lot of fun riding this bike around. I think when people find out the price is $8,000, they, you know, I've seen a couple of reactions. Some people are like, oh, okay, cool. Other people kind of like start to ask like, okay, well, what does a motorcycle cost? And I think to me, this is a different consumer or a different buyer than an audience. Like if you're a Harley guy or you like riding cafe racers, I don't think that the P1 is going to necessarily like substitute that for you. You're not taking this bike cruising on like long drives upstate or out of the whatever. Like you're not going for a cruise on this. Like I look at this as predominantly something to get around town on. 60-mile range, like that's not getting you too far, so you're not really going on a road trip. I just think it's a different audience. And yes, like to answer the question, you can totally buy a motorcycle or get something else for $8,000. But I think when you look at the design, when you kind of feel the riding experience, I'm interested to hear like how people respond to the price. Like, what do you guys think? Is $8,000 too much for this? It might be, but I think it's a really cool design. I think, you know, they're obviously doing something unique with it. So, you know, only time will tell when we see some sales numbers come in and see if we can see more people on the road with it. All right, so that's all we've got. That is the P1 from Infinite Machine. Please, if you have any questions, drop us a comment, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll catch you out there. Maybe I'll be riding this thing, who knows?